I finally got a couple videos uploaded this morning. Stuff that's been sitting on the camera for, I don't know, a week or so. And then I think one I did Thursday I recorded. That would be the one actually mowing. Extremely busy. Extremely busy. It's that time of year, and unfortunately snow is not that far off because it was snowing this morning here in wonderful Lewiston, New York. If some of you guys don't know where that's at, I'm about 5 minutes north of Niagara Falls. So it was lightly snowing, and it wasn't like even a mist of snow come down. It was hard, like hard, tiny. It looked like, if any of you guys know what they are, those Dippin' Dots ice cream, that's what it looked like. It was tiny little balls of snow coming down, and it was right there in Lewiston. But now I just got above the hill heading towards Niagara Falls, and there's nothing here. It's really, really cloudy and cold. It's like 39 degrees outside, but it's not snowing or anything here. The roads aren't even wet here. I am on my way to the range to do some shooting. As a bunch of you guys already know, I'm going on, actually January 9th will make 10 years, 11 years, 10 years I think, that I've been working for an armored truck company, and I spent a number of years as a federal law enforcement firearms instructor. And so the armored truck company that I work for, I still work for them on Mondays. I drive an armored truck for them. I don't know why. I have no idea why. It's not like I need the money, and more often than not, it's just a pain in my ass. But I've been there so long that I just kind of stay. I really like the job. I've always liked the job. We've changed management and policies so often that it has just become a crock of shit place to work, and it's just not what it used to be. It's not what it was when I started, or my first few years there. It's slowly gone downhill with our management, and with who changes what rules for the benefit of themselves and versus following company procedure. But if they got something against you, or they want to get rid of you or punish you or whatever, then all of a sudden the rules apply. One of those kind of deals. And I've worked at a number of places that were like that. I never thought this place would be like that. It was a place that people begged to get in, and it was never easy to get a job for this company. But it's a lot has changed over the years. Now the turnover rate just becomes so high, it's disgusting. But it is what it is. I still love the company. I love what the company stands for. We have a lot of great people that work there, and we do have a lot of great rules and procedures. It's just that they're not always followed by certain people. But you'll have that wherever you go, and it's there's bad apples in every bushel, I guess you could say. But anyway, so we have to re-qualify with our duty weapon every 6 months, and I was supposed to go do it yesterday, but this week it was supposed to pour rain Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So we worked sun up to sundown every day this week to try to get ahead, so that by the end of Thursday we would have the entire mowing list done for the week. And we did. We knocked it out. We got it done. It wasn't easy. We busted our butts, that's for sure, and we were able to get it all done. I didn't think for a while that we were going to, but we did. Because my whole thing is, I would rather go a little bit slower and make sure that it looks pristine, make sure everything is perfect, make sure nothing is missed trimming, make sure nothing is missed as far as edging sidewalks and driveways, and make sure there's no high spots in the grass. You're not going too fast with the mowers to where they can't keep up and cut with it. Just things like that. So some properties, the just the way the grass is, you can't go full speed with those mowers. It'll leave high spots, and it's just because of how the ground is, with it not being perfectly level, things like that. So, you know, there were a few properties we had to slow down on just to make sure that it was done right. So I wasn't sure that it was going to happen. But not only did we make it happen, we also did an extra lawn that we don't normally do. It's one of my customers. They have a second house and they really needed their lawn cut. Come to find out their mower broke, and it's like anyone that calls you and says, hey, my mower broke, can you cut my lawn? Well, the mower broke 3 weeks ago, okay, and they waited 3 weeks to call, and now it looked like a freaking hayfield, which normally if I show up and I look at it, I'm like, nope, I'm sorry, I can't do it. I'm not beating up my mowers, I'm not running my mowers through that. You're gonna have to call somebody else. But this was one of my customers. They're a high-paying customer. They never bitch. They let me do it my way. So I did it for them. We knocked it down. We trimmed the whole thing out first, and then we mowed over it, cut it all down, and we took the backpack blowers to some areas. We had to break it up. It was thick even after we cut it down. And sometimes, you know, when the grass is just way too thick laying there, it'll just clog baggers up. You know, even with turbine systems on the baggers, it just, you know, when it gets that thick, it's also green, very thick, very moist inside. So when you chop it up like that, it's laying thick on the ground, it's wet. A lot of moisture inside, a lot of wetness, and when you get a lot of that blowing through that tube on the bagger all at once, you know, it clogs that shit right up. And it also doesn't mulch up into smaller pieces as much. So with the Skag, I have the 6.2, the big accelerator bagger on there. Well, if it's really thick and you're cutting it, it's sending out long pieces. It's not chopping it up smaller and mulching it up. So the bagger packs in and fills up a lot faster, which also makes the baggers a lot heavier. So what we did is, you know, after we cut it down, we took the backpack blowers and we hit it with those and broke it all up, so it thinned it out some, and then we bagged the whole lawn. And well, it looked like a golf course when we left, so it looked very good, but it took a little bit of work. So that, again, I thought was gonna, you know, really prevent us from finishing out the week on time like I wanted to. There goes a guy driving down the road with a plow on his truck. He's already ready, I guess. But but yeah, so we knocked it out, and then Friday and Saturday, yesterday, it didn't rain at all. I mean, I think we got a little bit of rain on Friday late in the day, but other than that, it was kind of cooler out. I think 55, 60 all day, both days. The sun was out, the sun was hot, and it stayed windy. So it would have been perfect days for mowing and mulching up leaves. But yeah, so we got it all done for nothing. But the good thing is I had a lot of stuff to do. The GMC, the truck I'm driving now, I wanted to get the oil change in it. I wanted to get the plugs and wires done, and then I need to change the oil in the Skag, the X-Mark, and the Ferris. All needed the oil changed in them. And so, and I sharpened the gator blades because I've been running the super high lifts right up till now. I probably should have switched them last week, but I didn't. But we're getting way too many leaves, a lot of property, so it's time to go back to the gators for the fall, so it mulches all that shit up a lot better. So I had to get those sharpened because they were dull. I sharpened them up, got the Skag and the X-Mark. I got the blades switched over on those, the oil changed on both of those. I got the oil changed on the X-Mark as well, but I didn't actually, I changed the blades over on the Skag and the Ferris. The oil got changed on all three of those, and but I didn't change the blades on the X-Mark yet. But they're sharpened and laying next to it, ready to go, so I'll get those swapped over before we start the week. Yeah, I had to go to the bank, I had to go to Home Depot to make my poker, to put in my plow stakes. I had a bunch of other to weld that together. Man, it's that time of year, my boogies are running. But yeah, so I got all that stuff done, got all that knocked out. It's just one thing after the next. Well, apparently I was signed up on the sheet. I signed myself up because when the 6-month qualifications are due, you can sign up for a Saturday or Sunday shoot. On Sundays, I'm a lector at my church, so I deliver the first sermon and my pastor does the second one. I do all the readings, so I try to not ever sign up for the Sunday shoot, just because it'll keep me from doing what I like to do at church. So, well, they called me about noon yesterday and asked me where the hell I was. I was signed up for Saturday and I never showed up at the range. I forgot. I had all that stuff I was trying to get done. I forgot all about it. So I said, well, I'll be there tomorrow. So I got to drive out to the range and do my qualifications this morning. I brought my GoPro, and I think I have my hat clip mount to mount the GoPro. And if I can find it here, I think it's in my center console. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mount the GoPro to that hat clip, and I'm going to put it on my hat. And I'm going to try to record some shooting at the range. I don't know if they'll even let me bring the camera in there. I've never tried it before, but I think it'll be pretty cool. So if I can, then you guys are going to see that. Yeah, so I'm going to do that if they'll let me. If I do have the hat clip, if I can find it, because the tripod and quick mount, all that stuff's in the other truck. So if I do have it and they do let me take it in, I'm going to film that so you guys can see that. But yeah, I'm going to knock that out today, and then we have dinner at my in-laws tonight. So I got a pretty full day. Plus I have to go to the judge's house. He has a bunch of Unilock blocks on a pallet he wants to get rid of. So he just wants me to come and take them. I've been supposed to get those for a few weeks now, and I've just never made it over there to get them. So I'm going to go get them. And so I got a pretty full day, but so anyway, I'm headed to the range now. Yeah, like I said, winter's coming up, guys, so mostly, I mean, last year I built that trailer. I filmed a bunch of welding and a bunch of stuff me fabricating that trailer, and then just a lot of snow plowing. What I'm going to do this year on a dash cam, the one I'm using right now, to do filming a lot of my plowing, but now with the new GoPro that I just got, which is, I don't know, I haven't showed you guys. This is it. This is the new GoPro with the LCD screen on the back. It's GoPro Hero. Pretty sweet. I won it brand new on eBay for like 210 bucks. But it came with like 5 different backs that go on it, because it's not the kind that comes out of the waterproof case. It stays in the case. Then you can put the waterproof back on it, or you can put the other backs on it. There's all different backs. It came with all them. Came with 2 different chargers, a data transfer cable. So yeah, it was a pretty smoking deal. I've used a lot of action cams over the years, which you guys have seen. You've seen footage of, and they do a really good job. But I've always wanted an actual GoPro. I just didn't want to pay $400, $500 for one. So I've been watching them for a while in there, and I found one that was on auction, and I won that one. I just got it like a week ago. But I made a couple videos with that so far. But so yeah, so I'm going to try to get some different footage this year. I'm going to set the tripod up in parking lots and stuff and film me plowing some parking lots. So instead of just the dash cam mounts, you guys can see me plowing from different points of view. I think that'd be pretty cool. I watch a lot of plowing videos, and I like to see the ones from other points of view. So, you know, I'm going to try to get that for you guys. I got some pretty sick suction cup mounts that I'm going to mount to like the windows and stuff. And see if I can get some angles like that. I got this other mount I'm going to try out, mounting right to the corner of the blade, so when I wind roll snow, you'll be looking right inside the front of the blade while the snow's rolling off it. I think that'll be pretty neat. But if you guys have any requests of different stuff that you want to see, like I said, winter's coming up. You know, I'll get a few more mowing videos, maybe some fall cleanup type stuff. I've gotten away from a lot of fall cleanups. I went to a new system last year, which really worked out. My customers are more than pleased. I'm very happy about it. Instead of doing full actual fall cleanups where I'm charging somebody $400 or $500 on a property to do a major fall cleanup, which is pretty much just leaves, sticks, things like that. It doesn't include weeding out flower beds and that kind of stuff. I think it's pointless in the fall. They're just going to grow back in the spring anyway. You're not going to see it in the winter. It'll be snow covered, so what's the point? But anyway, keep me on properties for hours at a time I just don't have. And then 3-4 days after I leave there, it looks like I was never even there, because obviously leaves never completely fall at the same time. So what I started doing is, say it's a $40 a week lawn, I'll charge a customer $80 for the last 3 or 4 cuts of the season. So for the last 3 or 4 cuts of the season, I double their bill each week. And what they get out of that is, when I show up on the property, before I start mowing, I'll go and I'll trim everything out. Then I'll blow out all the flower beds into the yard. And they have 2 different options. One, I mow over them and I usually double cut the lawn. I mulch them all up. It breaks all the leaves down to almost nothing, and they're about gone. Everything's gone. You might see a few leaves here and there, but it breaks everything down to nothing. And what that does is, over the winter, the rest of the leaves, the little piece of leaves, will naturally deteriorate and break down. They'll decompose, and that fertilizes the lawn. You notice after doing that, the lawn will come back greener and thicker in the spring. Which I've always done that for some customers. That's how I know what the result is come spring. But so it's naturally fertilizing their lawn. Now what that does is it keeps me from being there so long with hours that I don't have to spend on any one given property. It keeps their cost a lot lower, and at the same time I'm able to keep up on the leaves from week to week. So I'm not trying to deal with 3 feet of frickin' leaves all at one shot that you're only going to blow them so far, whether you got to walk behind blower, backpack blowers, or whatever. It only does so much, especially if they get wet and they're that thick. They're a nightmare. So it keeps me from being on a property for so long. I'm able to keep up on it from week to week. The other option that they have, I will cut it once and mulch them all up. After I blow everything out of the flower beds, the driveway, everything, blow it into the yard. I'll cut it once and mulch it up. Once it's all mulched up, it usually needs a second cut to mulch it up a lot finer. But I'll mulch that one cut up. If they have a wooded area around their house, after that first cut that mulches it all up, you know, into smaller pieces, I'll throw the baggers on. And then the second cut, instead of just mulching it up a final time and like dispersing it out the side of the deck, I'll actually bag it, and then I'll dump the baggers either in their compost pile if they have it, or in the woods that surrounds their property. So that's pretty much the 2 options they have. Either way, it's the same price. I just double their cut fee. Their normal weekly fee for mowing, I just double that each week, and that's what they get. I know some of you say, oh man, you should be charging more. Or some say, well, that's too high, you should be charging less. Well, that's what I do in my area. It works in my area. It's beneficial to me. I'm still making a good profit on it, and the customers are more than happy with it. So it worked out phenomenal last year. I have that in place again this year. I'm trying to avoid actual full fall cleanups, and I pretty much just push them off. So that's the option I have for leaves. And any sticks, we just pick them up anyway. I mean, I do that all year long. Even in the summer, there's sticks laying in the yard, I just pick them up before I mow. You know, it's doing them a favor because they're not in the yard. It's doing me a favor because, you know, the sticks just beat the shit out of your blades. You know what I mean? I mean, you're gonna tear through them and chop them up and this and that, but you know what? They'll dull that edge out on your blades quicker than shit. So you're only hurting yourself, especially if you do it on the first few lawns of the day and you have 20-something fucking lawns that day. By the time you get to the second half of the list, you got to go a lot slower because your blades aren't as sharp, or you're double cutting stuff because it's not cutting it even. So, you know, we just pick them up anyway, and we put them in a pile usually out by the road. Everywhere that I mow, all the areas I service, the townships or the villages come and pick them up anyway. So I just put piles of sticks out by the roads, and the town or the village comes and picks them up. But yeah, so anyway, I've rambled on long enough, guys. That's my little bit for the first part of this video. Hopefully there will be a second part. We'll find out when I get to the range. But yeah, So that's my little bit about what I've been doing the last few days. The 2 videos I posted up this morning, what I do with leaves and fall cleanups. Make sure you guys comment below if what else you would like to see videos on, because come winter time it's kind of limited. It's whatever little projects I got going on in the shop, and then plowing. I mean, that's pretty much the extent of what I film in the winter. So if there's other things you guys want to see, you know, by all means, comment in the bottom. Let me know what you want to see, and I'll try to accommodate you the best I can. But all right, off to the range. Bang bang. Got that Glock over there, Greg? Oh yeah. See why I like it? They didn't leave any boxes of target ammo in here, did they, for 40? No. Ammo. Alright, who wants more targets? Street ammo out of the M&P. Shoot it up, Marine. I only put the legal amount of rounds in this gun. You can count them. What? 15's legal, isn't it? That's what my firearms instructor told me. He even pulled my arm. All right. More and I'll be right with you.